How can credit unions compete with the big banks? In one of my previous videos that's titled How Business Architects Can Help Strategy Formulation, I illustrate a bank strategy on why there are better options than simply offering insurance to its existing customers. A few months back, I had the privilege of speaking at a conference of credit union executives. Qletics, if you're interested. The question I guided them to answer was this: how do we compete effectively while using AI to our advantage? In this video, I'll share a perspective with the goal of helping fellow business architects to further strengthen strategic thinking skills. The main competitor for credit unions are the big banks. Let's look at some of the differences and understand the competitive landscape. We'll use a strategy canvas to showcase the similarities and differences, especially related to customer perception. I don't intend this to be comprehensive. It's just a concept that matters. Banks usually manage larger assets than credit unions. So some customers have the perception that bigger assets means a lot more stability, even though that may not be necessarily true. The banks have a larger customer base stretching across multiple segments of society. Therefore, they're able to offer better apps and digital experiences because they're able to scale easily. Both banks and credit unions offer a standard set of basic products like checking and savings accounts, credit cards, auto loans, and so on. But the big banks, in addition to the standard products, offer a broader range of products like business banking, small business administration loans, retirement planning options, maybe financial consultants, etc., compared to the credit unions. So customers who seek convenience under one umbrella may prefer the banks. Banks are for-profit enterprises and usually take more risks than credit unions, which are owned by its members. The credit unions are focused on narrow segments. A credit union might serve a specific company's employees, or a certain profession, or a certain local region. There's a sense of some connection among its member base. From a trust perspective, customers have more trust in credit unions than they do in banks, especially given the recent spate of federal government having to rescue many of these big banks. And we have a few more we could add to this, but it is suffice for us to just see the strategy canvas. Given all this, it does not make sense for any credit union to go head-to-head against a big bank, because that's like a small retailer competing against Amazon. So what would be another option? Here's one. Is it possible to find another unmet need to cater to? This is called the blue ocean strategy. Typically, financial institutions help their customers save money in different ways: for retirement, for college education, save for a vacation. But few help their customers spend the money. Customers often have challenges to prioritize their spend. Should a customer buy a new car or invest in a new learning skill? Well, we all know it depends, but most customers have to figure it out themselves. What if the credit union can get into this space of advising customers on how to spend their money effectively? Not a bad option. The credit unions have to set up the organization, budget, processes, technology, resources, plans, and so on. Here's another option. We know that most credit unions don't compete with each other for the same customer. So what if they collaborate much more to share resources? One part of that is to establish a collaboration platform that would include mechanisms to share technologies like AI, RPA, share data and processes, share vendor relationships, and so on. In other words, if you can't go head-to-head with your competitor, You should find like-minded entities, join forces, and see how you can win together. This is a judo strategy where you use speed, agility, and collaboration to outperform your competition. Perhaps a good strategy then would be to pursue both options. Find the non-addressed market and also collaborate with other credit unions. In this video, I wanted to share the technique of explorative thinking that business architects, or any leader for that matter, might use to help executives think through strategic options, paint the picture, and communicate it well so executives can make their decisions with much better clarity. If you enjoyed watching this video, please consider subscribing. You can download a free one-page visual summary of this video by signing up on my mailing list on my website. Thank you deeply for spending some virtual time with me and giving me the motivation to do what I do.